Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So in the other lecture we studied about respiratory system, okay, the different parts of respiratory system and how they function. What do we get from the respiratory system? We absorb oxygen, that means the blood absorbs oxygen from the respiratory system. And what is given out through the respiratory system? Carbon dioxide and water vapor is given out through the respiratory system. Where are these produced? Where are these carbon dioxide and H2O produced? It is produced inside the cell, inside each and every cell. Now, who transports this oxygen and carbon dioxide and water vapor and food? Okay, that means the glucose, oxygen, the nutrients are transported by a system in our body, that is circulatory system. The circulatory system consists of heart, blood vessels and capillaries. It consists of heart, which is a pumping organ, and blood vessels. Okay, there are two types of blood vessels, arteries and veins, and capillaries. Okay, now the blood vessels are of two types, arteries and capillaries. Arteries are those blood vessels which carry blood away from the heart. It carries oxygenated, that is pure blood, away from the heart to different parts of the body. That is called as arteries. Whereas veins, they carry deoxygenated blood. That means the amount of oxygen in that blood is less. It is not that it is absent, it is less compared to that of arteries. Okay, so this is considered as the blood vessel which carries the impure blood, and this is the blood vessel which carry the pure blood. Pure blood also called as oxygenated blood, impure blood also called as deoxygenated blood. Okay, now arteries carry blood away from the heart because the heart pumps the blood, but it pumps out the oxygenated blood to different parts of the body. Okay, that is why it is called as away from the heart. Now here in this diagram you may see the artery. This is an artery and this is a vein. Okay, now how the construction is done? This is an artery. This artery, after it reaches a particular organ, it divides and redivides into small blood vessels which are called as capillaries. Okay, these capillaries, they combine together to form a vein. I repeat, arteries are the blood vessels which come from the which carry oxygenated blood from the heart. After it reaches a particular organ, it divides and redivides into smaller blood vessels which are called as capillaries. These capillaries cover the organ. That means if this is an organ, it is a stomach, the blood vessels will cover it. The capillaries will be covering it like this. Okay, it will cover. For what purpose? Each and every cell has to be provided with the nutrients and the waste materials has to be removed. For that purpose, the capillaries cover the organ. Okay, and there is exchange of nutrients and waste materials. After that, the blood which has the waste materials more and it has given the nutrients, they will enter into the vein and the vein is taken towards the heart. This is about blood vessels, arteries and veins. Now there is a question, a very frequently asked question, distinguish between arteries and veins. The most important point is that arteries carry blood away from the heart, veins carry blood towards the heart. Next, the walls of arteries are thick, whereas the walls of veins are thin. Why? Because the blood pressure in the arteries are more, because the heart is pumping away the blood. Okay, so the pressure is more, so the blood vessels should have a thick wall so that it does not rupture. Okay, so the walls of arteries are thick, the walls of veins are thin. Arteries do not have valves. Now what is the purpose of valves? Valves are flap-like structures. Okay, flap-like structures here in between the artery and the vein, in the vein actually. Okay, in the vein actually, consider it is here. Now if there is a flap here, if there is a flap, this is the coming vessel, there is a flap like this, there are two flaps. Now the blood which is flowing in this manner can flow, it can flow in this manner. But if the blood flows backwards, if by any case it flows backwards, then what will happen? This flap will get closed. Okay, it will get closed. So to prevent backflow of the blood, okay, so artery is carrying oxygenated blood and veins are carrying deoxygenated blood. They shouldn't mix up with each other. Okay, in capillaries they are already mixed, but in the veins it should be different, in arteries it should be different. Okay, now the veins are having valves to prevent backflow of the impure blood. The next is deeply situated. The arteries are deeply situated in the body. Okay, deeply situated means they are inside compared to that of veins. They are superficial. Next, exception is pulmonary artery. There is an exception, namely pulmonary artery. Now this is an artery which carry deoxygenated blood from heart to the lungs. I repeat, pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood from heart to the lungs. Then why it is said to be an artery? Because it is going away from the heart. That is why it is called as an artery. So pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs. And arteries carry oxygenated blood. Now the next is veins. Veins walls are thin, they have valves, they are superficial. Exception is pulmonary vein which carry oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. Okay, so where do we get oxygen from? We get oxygen from the air which we inhale. The air which we inhale, is it going to the heart? It is not going to the heart, it is going to the lungs. So oxygen is in the lungs. That oxygen has to be brought from the lungs to the heart. Who does it? The pulmonary vein does it. Okay, but pulmonary vein, it is said to be a vein even if it carries oxygenated blood. Why? Because it is moving towards the heart. Okay, so it is just a name given, pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein. So these are the exceptions. Otherwise, arteries carry oxygenated blood and veins carry deoxygenated blood. Pulmonary artery carry deoxygenated blood and pulmonary veins carry oxygenated blood. Okay, so this is about the blood vessels. The basic thing you have to remember is there are two types of blood vessels, arteries and veins. And capillaries help in diffusion. It helps in interchange of nutrients and waste materials between the blood vessel and the cell. Okay, now we may move on to the next topic. Now the next is about the structure and function of heart, which is the pumping organ of the circulatory system. Okay, now there is some information given about heart on page number 77. You may underline those parts, it could be asked as an objective. Page number 77. Okay, where is heart present? Heart is present in the thoracic cavity. In the other lecture I had told you about thoracic cavity. The part above the diaphragm is called as thoracic cavity or the chest cavity. Okay, the ribs, it is present. The ribs are present. Inside the ribs the lungs are present and the heart is placed in between the lungs. Okay, and it is inclined slightly to the left hand side. The size of the heart is about one's fist. Okay, the size of our heart is equal to one's own fist and the weight is about 360 grams. It is covered by a double layered membrane which is called as peritoneal membrane. You may underline that, it is a very important objective. The double layered membrane of heart is called as peritoneal membrane and the double layer membrane of lungs is called as pleura. You had underlined this. Okay, and a fluid is present between the two membranes. It is to protect the heart from different types of shock. Okay, from mechanical shocks. Now, human heart is a muscular organ. It is made up of involuntary cardiac muscles. they contract and relax with a definite rhythm. This is called as beating of heart. You have heard about the term heartbeats. Okay, it beats in a particular rhythm which is called as beating of hearts. Now why do they beat? Okay, that we will see when we study the functioning of the heart. So this is the basic information about the heart. Now in the textbook they have given a diagram, figure 11.3. In your test, in your school, in your notebook, you have to draw that diagram which has been given in the textbook. This you may draw in your notebook for you to understand. This is for you to understand, to just understand the functioning of the heart. Okay, so heart, I have drawn this as a heart. It is covered by a double membrane which is called as peritoneal membrane. Inside that there is a liquid which protects the heart from mechanical shocks. It is divided into 4 chambers. There are walls which divides them into 4 chambers. The upper 2 chambers are called as atrium or atria. Okay, atria is the plural. The lower 2 chambers are called as ventricles. I repeat, the upper 2 chambers are called as atrium. The lower 2 chambers are called as ventricles. Okay, the right atrium opens into the right ventricle. This is a valve. Okay, the flap valve. Now the blood which is flowing in this manner cannot flow in the backward direction. What will happen if the blood flow in the backward direction? The flap which is like this, it will get closed and the blood cannot flow in the backward direction. Okay, so that is the importance of valves. There is a valve, okay, tricuspid valve in between right atrium and right ventricle. There is a valve between left atrium and left ventricle also. You may see this right atrium and left atrium is not open anywhere. Right ventricle and left ventricle, it is not in contact anywhere. It is completely separated. Okay, now we will see the functioning of the heart, how the heart functions. Okay, now we studied about respiration. We shall start with cellular respiration. What happened in cellular respiration? During cellular respiration, carbon dioxide, water vapor and energy was produced inside the cell. Okay, the cell used up the energy. The cell doesn't need carbon dioxide and water vapor. It doesn't need it. And there are other waste materials also which a cell does not need. Where to throw it? Okay, they throw it into the blood vessel. Okay, they throw it into the capillaries. Those capillaries combine together to form a vein. Okay, those veins will move towards the heart. Okay, they travel towards the heart. So the veins carry deoxygenated blood. All the veins from different parts of the body, they combine near the heart to form a blood vessel which is called as vena cava. Okay, now you should note that both the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood is commonly called as blood only. Both are red in color. It is not that the deoxygenated is blue and the oxygenated blood is red. It is not like that. Both the blood is red in color. Only the oxygen concentration is less in case of deoxygenated blood and it contains some waste materials. Okay, so the veins travel from different parts of the body towards the heart, and near the heart they combine together to form vena cava. Okay, this vena cava opens into the right atrium. Okay, it does not open anywhere, it opens into the right atrium. From the right atrium, the blood travels into the right ventricle. Okay, through this valve, from the right atrium, the blood travels into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, it is pumped. Okay, it is pumped into the pulmonary artery to the lungs. Okay, now in the other clip I had told you about pulmonary artery. It carries deoxygenated blood. Who brought the deoxygenated blood? The vena cava brought the deoxygenated blood and it was poured into the right atrium. From the right atrium, it entered into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, it entered into the pulmonary artery. Now there I have written lungs on both sides. There are two pulmonary artery. One goes to right lung and the other goes to left lung. I have shown only one to reduce the what do you say, complications, okay, confusions. So the pulmonary artery go to the lungs. For what purpose? To get oxygenated. Okay, it is a deoxygenated blood. So to get oxygenated, it has to travel through to the lungs. Why? Because the oxygen which we have inhaled has reached the lungs, not the heart. Okay, so the blood is taken to the lungs. In the lungs, I had told you in the other clip about the alveoli and the blood capillaries. Okay, the blood capillaries move near to the alveoli. Then what will happen? The carbon dioxide and water vapor which this had brought, it was given to the lungs. Okay, it will be given to the lungs, and the oxygen which the lungs has brought, it will be entering into the blood. Okay, that blood travels back. It travels back. You may see I have shown it here for this lungs. The pulmonary vein which is coming from the lungs, it is having oxygenated blood. It is poured into the left atrium. Okay, it is poured into the left atrium. Not here, it is poured into the left atrium. From the left atrium, it enters into the left ventricle. Okay, and the heart pumps out the blood through the aorta. I repeat, the deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body, it reaches the heart to form vena cava. It opens into right atrium to right ventricle to pulmonary artery goes to lungs. It gets oxygenated. It come back as pulmonary vein. It opens into left atrium to left ventricle. Again there is a valve here, okay, to prevent backflow. From the left ventricle, it is pumped into the aorta. It is the largest artery in the body, okay, which is having maximum blood pressure. That aorta divides and redivides into small arteries and travel to different parts of the body, and it carries the oxygenated blood. So you may see that the left part of the heart, the right part of the heart has deoxygenated blood, and the left part of the heart has oxygenated blood. Okay, so this is the working of the heart. Now it is not that one time this side is working and another time this side is working. It is not like that. It is working simultaneously. Okay, it is working simultaneously. Simultaneously means when the blood is falling from here, vena cava, into right atrium, at the same time the blood from the pulmonary vein falls into left atrium. That means these two processes are taking place simultaneously. And from here both of them will enter into the ventricles, and from here this process, okay, these two processes, they are taking place simultaneously. That means at the same time the blood is pumped into the pulmonary artery and the blood is pumped into the aorta. Okay, so at 1 second, in 1 second or one part of the heartbeat, it absorbs blood. That means it takes blood, and in the second part of the heartbeats it pumps blood. So in one part it takes blood and in the next part it pumps the blood out. That is why the heartbeat is said to be having a sound of lub dub. Lub dub. Lub is the sound when it receives blood. Dub is the sound when it gives out blood. Okay, so there is lub dub, lub dub. So there are two parts for a heartbeat. One heartbeat consists of one receiving and one pushing. Okay, one pumping out and one receiving. That is one heartbeat. It is one cycle. Okay, so the process in which the heart is receiving blood, that is said to be diastole. Okay, diastole. And the process by which the blood is being pumped out of the heart, that is called as systole. So during systole the blood is being pumped out, and during diastole the blood is received in from both sides. Okay, it is taking place simultaneously. So this is the function of the heart, and the blood pressure during systole is about 90 to 120 millimeter of mercury. Okay, and diastole it is 60 to 80 millimeter of mercury. That means the blood pressure when it is receiving the blood is less, and the blood pressure when it is pumping out the blood is more. Okay, so this is about systole and diastole and the functioning of heart. It is a very important question. Now we may move on to page number 79. Page number 79, blood circulation through the heart or functioning of the heart. Okay, process of pumping the blood towards various of the parts of the body and bringing it back towards the heart is called as blood circulation. You may underline question, what is blood circulation? So as to maintain the continuity in circulation, heart alternately contracts and relax. Now what do you mean by contracts and relax? Contracts means it is pumping the blood out, and relax means it is taking the blood in. Okay, consecutive single contraction and relaxation of heart constitutes a single heartbeat. So one heartbeat consists of a part which is receiving the blood and a part which is pumping out the blood. Now try this question. 2 feet long rubber tube with small aperture stopwatch funnel. Fit a funnel at one end of the rubber tube. Keep the wide mouth of the funnel on the left side of the thorax. Bring the other end of the tube near the ear to hear the sound. You have to measure the beats. Okay, that's all. Next, think about it. Pulse. Find the correlation between heartbeat and pulses felt at the wrist. Okay, pulse is actually the waves which are passing through the arteries, okay, which are passing through the blood vessels, and a heartbeat is the proper beat. Actually, the pulse rate and heartbeat is the same because it depends on the contraction and relaxation of the heart. Okay, I will be giving you the answer. You may copy it. We can feel the pulse behind the ears and near the heel of the foot. How these pulses occur? Okay, so the pulses occur due to the contraction and relaxation of the heart. Due to the contraction and relaxation, there are particular waves which are produced on the arteries, okay, on the blood vessels. So if you keep your finger there, you can feel vibrations. Okay, you can feel the vibrations because of the waves which are passing through the arteries and veins. That is said to be pulse. Pulse is equal to heart rate or heartbeat. What flows out when we have an injury? What flows out when we have an injury? It is the blood. Okay, so today we studied about circulatory system, the different parts of circulatory system like heart, blood vessels and capillaries. The important question, distinguish between arteries and vein, and the working of heart. Okay, you may read the textbook. If you are having any doubt, you may ask. Thank you.